I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-Minute Convos, where I help you create a brand of your own unique real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. So, good day, Isaac Tolpin. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful day?
I'm doing good. It's great to be here.
Great pleasure to have you, Isaac. What part of the world are you in right now?
I'm in the U.S., in Oregon, but I'm in a unique spot in Oregon called Bend, Oregon. High desert, so it's sunny almost 300 days a year.
Oh,
So
really?
it's pretty
That's
cool.
intriguing.
Yeah.
Everything I've heard of Oregon is it's cold.
Yeah,
So,
but it's a unique spot. It's high desert, it's central Oregon. It rains in most other parts.
all right, all right. And which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time?
What, what was that again?
Which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time?
Oh, I don't know. I guess my ability to engage with people and speak truth about business and family and life.
Who did you learn that from?
Well, I mean, I would say that there's a lot of people that teach you those things, but early on, I would say one thing is I started my first business at 9, selling crafts at the farmers market, and made my first profit, and that was prompted by my dad, but that was really important because I learned very quickly that I wasn't a good employee, and that the entrepreneurship was the way to go, because if you can think of something in your mind, create it, and then someone buys it, and then they enjoy it, and you better their lives because they had your product or service, then for me, there's not much better in this world except for family and so forth that is very positive. So.
That's amazing. Definitely, there are the challenges that go together with everything you just expressed there, right? Why will you
Yeah.
continue to repeat the skill nevertheless?
Well, because when you know who you are, which takes time, obviously I didn't know all of who I was at 9, but over those next 8 years or so after that, or 10 years, I really, discovered more fully who I am. And when you know who you are and your gifts and talents and your passions, and you know where the cross sections of those things are, then you know where to persevere and where not to. And we always want to persevere in the direction of those things.
Now, one of the reasons we connected is because of the podcast that you do as well, right? Tell us a bit about that, please.
I don't have my own podcast, but I'm a co-founder of a tech company and so forth.
Oh, really? So is it convey or convey.com?
It's convey your message with one Y.
Yeah.
So yeah, conveyyour.com, which is a micro learning platform that makes it easy to take content and bring it to life in a far more engaging way than the traditional LMS systems.
Oh, really? Well, kick me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But you spoke at Podcast Movement. Was that it? Or your co-founder?
I didn't speak there, but I've given messages before, and I give I have a lot of interaction on LinkedIn and so forth. So maybe that's where you saw me. But yeah, I haven't been to Podcast Movement.
All right. That's 2 down. Well, I have one. Well, tell us one other thing, Isaac, you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
Yeah. So, I'll tell you 2 things. I've been diligent in raising my family in an uncertain world to really train them up. I have 7 kids, and to really be, influencers in the world for good. And that takes far more work than I used to realize. I've always been purposeful with that with my wife, Angie, but that's been going. And also in the last couple of years, I've been, with my business partner, Stephen Ryan, just a brilliant guy. We've been building conveyyour.com and scaling it up to disrupt the LMS world, which is a $5 billion industry, but it's fundamentally flawed because engagement is very low in digital training. The actual output isn't engaging human beings with where we're at today. So we built something that's in alignment with where they're at. So it's been, acquiring customers, setting up sales systems, getting feedback, improving, deciding which, features to improve and so forth. And it's been a great journey, and with great companies as customers, transforming engagement to influencers, trainers, coaches using it as well.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel to know that you've brought this to market?
It's I made this promise in my 20s actually. That in my entrepreneurial pursuits, there's lots of ways to make money. We live in America, and increasingly there's lots of ways to make money and access to ways to do that. But I made a promise that I would only do things that are in line with who I am, and also have an indelible, or stand to have an indelible impact on the world for good. And if it matches up with those things, then it's worthy. It's a worthy way to make money. Money is just a tool, and money's good, but it's a great resource. But how we make our money is crucial, because it really influences our entire lives, the how. And I think the how is important. So I've always paid attention to that, and I involve myself in things where I really believe in the how, and the how makes me a better leader, better person for the community, and a better father and husband.
Suggest to someone out there that's listening why they should do exactly that, by really interlacing the value of family together with entrepreneurship.
Well, if you have competing priorities, one of them will win. And usually within entrepreneurs, unfortunately, entrepreneurship will win. And the losing side, your family, happens very slowly over time as you neglect little things that become big things. And it's so important that you know what to say yes and no to in your entrepreneurial pursuits based on valuing your family first. It's easy to say that. Almost everybody will say that. Only a few, I believe, out there actually act on that. And they say no to great opportunities at times because it's not in alignment with nurturing, leading, and influencing their family. And if you influence that first, you become an integrated leader. You become a leader that's better in business anyways. So we want to make sure we do things that don't cause us to be gone forever. Don't cause us to be working way too hard. I mean, there's seasons. I've had seasons working extremely hard, and I communicate that well to family. But at the end of the day, you're not going to wish you worked harder when you're 80 years old. You're not going to wish you made an extra $10,000 when you're 80 years old. It's a given that if you're a good business person, you're probably going to do well. How well matters less than how well you do with your family and leading them. And you've got to make sure they're not competing with each other. You've got to find ways to make sure there's alignment there and that you can serve and lead well at home.
I love it. Amazing audience, you're hearing it here live from Isaac Tolpin. Again, I mistaked him for a podcaster. However, I am extremely glad that we connected, because I do align with the values that you represent. Isaac can be contacted at conveyyour.com, CONVE your.com. Isaac, let's switch gears for a moment now, and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Isaac, what is your earliest childhood memory?
My greatest childhood memory, is that what you said?
Your earliest childhood memory.
Oh, earliest. Well, when I was, maybe I shouldn't share this, but I'm going to anyways. One of the things that happened when I was very young, I think it was 5 or 6, and I do have some memories before that, but I used to play with matches when I was younger, and I was home alone a lot at a very young age. And so I ended up lighting a fire, a little forest on fire, and that was a very challenging experience. So at a very young age, I learned what it's like to talk to a police officer and be interrogated, and lessons from that. So, anyways, that's something that's popped in my mind.
Yeah, intriguing. How do you see that memory connecting to who you are today?
Oh, I definitely, never played with fire again, and I think respecting the elements around you is really important. And I think that very, very quickly, and just the need to be responsible and know that your actions play out to others and things, always. And so every single decision we make is going to impact not just the thing that we care about, but it may impact many things other people care about. And so I'm always really careful to make sure that in my decisions, I'm not just thinking selfishly. I mean, I'm not perfect at this, but that I'm not just thinking selfishly, but I'm thinking about how does this have a greater impact on my family, my career, and, the world at large. And I think that within everybody is a call to have impact. And unfortunately, we're kind of born selfish. And the challenge is to become less selfish. And one of the things I've learned is as I become more dedicated as a father, the less selfish I've become. And so that's been one of the things for me that's just been, I think, paramount in business is being a purposeful father and husband. And I think that plays out because if you're on purpose in those areas, it forces you to be about others and not yourself. And I just think there's a lot of selfishness in the world, and that leads to decision making that has either a neutral or negative repercussions with other people. And if we're all really moving towards being less selfish, that would be a good thing.
Love it. Love how you connect to that. If we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
Oh, I actually couldn't answer that, but I think when I was 12, I remember my older sister, not my favorite songs, but having her room plastered with Cyndi Lauper and Madonna pictures,
right,
and being annoyed by that music.
Oh, Isaac, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form, so it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Isaac?
Yeah, I'm just saying yes or no here.
Yes, you go. Here we go. Okay. Isaac, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes.
Are you married?
Yes.
Do you have children?
Yes.
Do you believe in God?
Yes.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
Don't have cable.
How about 3 hours a week?
No.
What about screen time?
Movies. If you count Netflix, we do watch the movies.
All right.
Screen time, yes.
More than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
I would say around 8 hours. I work with a computer. Yeah.
If you, Isaac, had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Isaac Tolpin, what would you say that is?
Don't waste your life pursuing the world's definition of success. Make sure you create a definition that aligns with what God has called you to do.
Love it. Isaac, this has been a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
No, it's great to be here, and I like your questions. I like the rapid fire, and I just encourage everybody to really pay attention to what actually matters versus all the pressures around you by the world pushing you in certain directions towards things that might matter. And you might not realize it, but pretty soon you get pushed in directions that really aren't optimal for, maybe where God wants you and what's good for your family.
Isaac Tolpin, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.